What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk, and I'm here to discuss and give my prediction on this weekend's fight taking place at 140 between reigning fighter of the year, Terence Bud Crawford taking on Jerry Dean in Crawford's hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. Going into this fight, Crawford is the overwhelming favorite, and rightfully so. He's much superior to the smaller Jerry Dean. Dean has fought Lamont Peterson and a few other good fighters. Has come up short. He came up short against Lamont Peterson, although he gave a valiant effort. Um, Looking at this matchup is really not one thing you can say Dean does better than Crawford. Crawford is a guy who can fight out of the orthodox stance or the southpaw stance. He has good power, decent speed. He's good defensively, although he can and will need to make improvements as he, continues his rise. You know, in the junior welterweight division. Excuse me. He has some dog in him. He will fight. He will fight. He doesn't mind fighting on the inside. He's fought and beat Yuriorkis Gamboa, British Prescott. Um, God, I'm having a mental lapse. Tomas Delorme, Ricky Burns, and his fight Raymond Beltran. Over the last 4 or 5 fights, and his resume is pretty good. A lot of people are high on him. They look at him as the future pound for pound best boxer in the sport. And you can't really argue that. Although there's a lot of talented guys, a lot of people are, pegging him as that guy to really, take over that spot. Not just for a brief moment, but for, a good bit, in his career. He needs to do what he needs to do in this fight against Dean. He needs to put on another impressive performance. He needs to come out the gate starting fast. He doesn't need to, let Dean get any feel or any thoughts in his head that he can beat Crawford. He needs to make his point felt in the opening round. He needs to come out aggressive. He needs to use his jab. He needs to throw combinations and not start off slow. He started off slow against Delorme and in previous fights. And, you could argue he was down, 3 rounds, 4 rounds going into the fifth round against Delorme before he turned it up, made adjustments, and, started to let his hands go. And he caught Delorme twice and, it put him down. He needs to fight like the bigger man, the better man, and the more talented man. He doesn't need to come around and fight down to his competition. He needs to fight Dean like he's getting ready to fight a Pacquiao or Matisse or Postal. Any of these top guys that we consider, B level B and A fighters. He doesn't need to, fight down to his competition. He needs to stay focused. He needs to show that he can, he has improved on defense, and pretty much, you know, show that improvement that he's been, the work that he's been putting in the gym and display it come Saturday night because HBO is huge on him. HBO is real big on Terence Crawford. This will be his third out of fourth fight fighting in Omaha, Nebraska, where he's a huge draw. I mean, his people in Nebraska loves him, and he puts on terrific shows, terrific fights, and he's definitely has a bright future. And for Jerry Dean, he just needs to come out and be aggressive. He needs to pop that jab and let his hands go, work the body, and try to rough up Crawford on the inside and just make it an ugly fight. Make Crawford uncomfortable. Force him to fight. Force him to let his hands go. Do not let him dictate the pace. Do not let him get in the comfort zone where you on the end of his jab and he's just boxing your ears off because he's capable of doing that. I think he prefers to fight on the outside, although he can, fight on the inside. He loves to keep you at bay with his jab, turn you, and keep that fight in the middle of the rings. For Gene, he's just gonna have to push him on the ropes, work the body, and get rough, make it an ugly fight, and try to dictate the pace and try to just make it sloppy and hard to score. And hopefully, maybe if all goes well for him, the judges score the rounds for him. But he can't come out As an opponent, he has to come out like a guy who's trying to win this fight, who's trying to, take that next step in his career and pretty much, you know, go balls to the wall and try to pull off a major upset. With all that being said, I cannot see Dean defeating Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is just head and shoulders that much better than Jerry Dean, and that's no disrespect to Dean, but we all know in every sport or in every situation, it's just some people are better, much better than others in certain things, and Terence Crawford just happened to be much better um, in this sport of boxing than Jerry Dean. He can punch, he can box, he's better defensively, he's taller, he's bigger, he's fighting in front of his hometown crowd. He's being backed by HBO, so Dean has an uphill battle, and it's one thing if he was talented, enough to do it, then it'd be, another thing. But I don't believe he's talented enough to defeat, excuse me, Terence Crawford. And with that being said, I'm going with Terence Crawford. Shit, I can't talk. Via eighth round KO. I think he puts on an impressive performance and shuts out. Dean may have his moments early, where he bothers Crawford, but I believe that Crawford gets him out of there in eighth on a clean KO in the eighth round. And I look forward to Crawford, stepping up to face maybe Postal, Matisse, whoever these guys at Top Rank and Golden Boy have to offer him. So that's my prediction. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me who you have winning this fight. And tell me some of your keys to victory for both guys. Like this video, subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk, head over to Facebook and like our Colossal Boxing Talk Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Colossal CBT. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.